Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to tackle a really big question. What does it even mean for a company to be good anymore? Because let me tell you, that definition is changing fast. Okay, let's get into it.
So let's just start right at the beginning. What is a company's actual job? I mean, for a really long time, the answer to that seemed super simple. But as you're about to see, that old answer just doesn't cut it anymore.
The traditional model was incredibly straightforward. A company existed for one reason and one reason only: sell stuff and make money for the people who own it. That's it. End of story. It was a really, really narrow, purely financial way of looking at success.
But that tunnel vision, well, it often came at a pretty high cost. And that brings us to our first section, learning from the past. Because if you want to build a better future, you've got to be honest about your history.
A huge concept here is something called rectification, and it's a really powerful idea. Basically, it means for a company to move forward, it has to look back. It's about acknowledging where you messed up. Maybe you polluted a river, maybe you didn't treat your workers right, and then you have to actively work to make it right. And this is a huge mental shift. It's moving from just saying, oops, our mistake for causing some kind of harm, to taking on this brand new responsibility. It's about actively fixing what was broken and making sure that ethical behavior is just baked into the company's DNA from now on. It's this incredible transformation, really, turning a past failure into the foundation for a much better future.
So once you start learning from your past, it naturally leads to taking on new responsibilities. And that brings us to Section 2, protecting our planet.
So here's the deal. Taking care of our planet is no longer some optional, nice-to-have thing for companies. It's now a core part of the job. And honestly, everyone, from customers to big-time investors, is demanding it. To be seen as a good company today, you have to be an environmental steward. You have to be in the fight against climate change.
And listen, this isn't about making vague promises or just trying to look good. We're talking about real, concrete actions. It all starts with being absolutely obsessed with cutting out waste at every single stage of the business. And then it's about making that big, committed leap to clean energy, not just as a gimmick, but as the real engine that's going to power the company moving forward.
Now, a company's responsibility doesn't stop at the global environment. It also extends right into its own neighborhood. And that's our Section 3, building our communities.
I absolutely love this quote because it just makes the whole idea so clear and easy to grasp. Super companies are good neighbors. It just perfectly sums it up, right? Businesses aren't these isolated islands. They are a living, breathing part of their communities.
And being a good neighbor is so much more than just cutting a check every now and then. The real lasting impact comes from long-term investments. We're talking about helping to build things a community actually needs. Things like schools, hospitals, safe parks for kids. It's all about creating value that sticks around for years and years.
And this isn't just theory. We're seeing it happen in some really powerful ways. Just look at the Tata Group in India. For ages, they haven't just built factories, they've built communities, literally funding and constructing schools and hospitals. Or take PNC's Grow Up Great program. By focusing on something as specific as early childhood education, they're not just making a donation, they're investing in the future success of that community for generations to come. That's what being a good neighbor really looks like.
Okay, so we've covered learning from mistakes, protecting the planet, and helping communities. Let's pull all of these different threads together in our last section, a more responsible future.
So, when you piece it all together, what does this new blueprint for a good company actually look like? Well, it's this complete picture, right? It's a company that cares about the health of the planet just as much as it cares about the people in its community. It learns from its past, and it builds everything on a solid foundation of just doing the right thing. And here it is. This is the bottom line. Why does any of this matter? Because when companies act responsibly, it isn't just good for business. It is absolutely essential for creating real, sustainable progress for everybody. The health of our companies and the health of our world, they're completely connected. And that leaves us with one last thing to think about. As customers, as workers, as citizens, what should we expect from the companies of tomorrow? And maybe more importantly, what should we demand from them? The definition of a good company is changing, and it's probably time our expectations did too.